Within you lies a power so vast it has been guarded by mystics and whispered through the ages. This is the hidden force, the unseen energy that shapes your reality. It does not respond to effort, but to belief, bending the universe to match the truth you hold in your mind. Are you ready to wield this force with intention? The Hidden Force. Introduction. Within the depths of your consciousness lies a force of such magnitude that its very existence has been guarded through the ages. This is not mere wishful thinking or the fleeting promises of modern self-help teachings. This is the hidden force, an ancient power that has shaped empires, built fortunes, and transformed ordinary lives into extraordinary legends. The universe operates through immutable laws, yet among them exists one so potent that its true nature has been concealed, passed down only through whispered wisdom and cryptic teachings. This force responds not to external actions, but to the invisible commands of your mind. Your thoughts are not mere electrical impulses firing across neurons. They are cosmic signals, broadcasting your intentions into the vast expanse of creation. When you truly understand this truth, you will realize that every thought you hold with unwavering certainty becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of reality. The ancient masters knew this. They understood that the mind is not contained within the skull, but extends into the very fabric of existence. Your consciousness interweaves with the cosmic consciousness, creating a bridge between thought and manifestation. But heed this warning. This force responds to all thoughts held with conviction, whether they spring from fear or faith, lack or abundance. It does not discriminate between what you want and what you dread. It simply manifests what you hold as truth in your mind's eye. You have felt glimpses of this power in moments when your desires materialized seemingly out of nowhere. These were not coincidences, but brief activations of the hidden force. Now, you stand at the threshold of fully awakening this dormant power within you. The knowledge contained in these chapters will reveal how to harness this force deliberately, consistently, and with purpose. But remember, once awakened, it cannot be ignored. You must be ready to wield this power with wisdom and intention. Like a mighty river that has burst through an ancient dam, this force will flow through every aspect of your existence, transforming your reality in accordance with your deepest beliefs. The choice of how to direct this power rests solely in your hands. Those who approach these teachings with reverence and understanding will find themselves capable of manifesting wonders they once thought impossible. Part 1. Awakening the Hidden Force. Chapter 1. The Hidden Power, Designing Your Destiny. In the bustling streets of old New York, where time itself seemed to pulse through the veins of the city, there lived a watchmaker named Immerse. His small shop, filled with the gentle ticking of countless timepieces, held more wisdom than he knew. One winter evening, as shadows lengthened across his workbench, an elderly gentleman entered, carrying a golden pocket watch. The old man watched Immerse work, his eyes twinkling with ancient knowledge. "Just as you align these gears to measure time," he said, his voice carrying the weight of centuries, "your thoughts align the very fabric of existence." The truth of existence flows not from outside to within, but from within to without. Your mind stands as the master architect of your reality, crafting each moment with the precision of a master watchmaker. Just as Amos discovered, the universe responds not to what lies before your eyes, but to what dwells within your mind's eye. 3 stages mark the path from thought to manifestation. First comes the impression, the clear, unwavering image held in consciousness. Second flows the emotion, the feeling that breathes life into the mental picture. Third arrives the manifestation, the physical emergence of what was once only thought. Amos, skeptical yet intrigued, decided to test the old man's teaching. He visualized a specific customer entering his shop, a woman in a blue coat with pearl buttons, seeking a particular type of watch. 3 days later, exactly such a woman appeared, matching his mental image in every detail, down to the very buttons on her coat. This simple occurrence revealed a universal truth. Your thoughts are not mere fantasies floating in the void of consciousness. They are energetic blueprints that the universe faithfully follows, manifesting in physical form what you hold as truth in your mind. Now, you shall begin with a simple yet powerful practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Choose a small, specific object, perhaps a blue feather, a white butterfly, or a coin of particular denomination. Create a clear mental picture of this object appearing in your life within the next 24 hours. See its details. Feel the joy of its discovery. Know with certainty it will manifest. Hold this vision for several minutes, allowing your emotion to infuse the image with life. Then release it completely, trusting in the universe's perfect timing. This exercise serves as your first step in mastering the hidden force, proving that your thoughts indeed shape the reality you experience. Remember, the power lies not in hoping or wishing, but in knowing. Just as Amos learned to trust in the precision of his timepieces, you must trust in the precision of your thoughts. Chapter 2: The Law of Mental Blueprinting. In the golden age of silent cinema, when dreams flickered to life in black and white, a young actress named Charlotte stood before a peculiar director on a dimly lit stage. "Your greatest performance," he told her, his voice carrying the weight of hidden wisdom, "exists first in the theater of your mind." You too possess this same power, the ability to project your desires onto the screen of universal consciousness. Just as a film projector casts images onto a blank screen, your mind broadcasts its contents into the fabric of reality itself. This is not mere metaphor, but the very mechanism through which all manifestation occurs. When you hold a thought, you create an energy field, a living, breathing blueprint that exists first in the unseen realms. These thought forms are more real than you might imagine, already taking shape in the ethereal before emerging into physical form. The universe responds not to your words or actions, but to the vivid images you maintain in your consciousness. Charlotte understood this truth intuitively. Each night, she would sit in her dressing room, eyes closed, projecting onto her mental screen detailed scenes of herself in the leading role. She saw every gesture, felt every emotion, heard every silent expression of her character. She did not hope or wish, she simply knew. Then came the day of final casting for the studio's grandest production. The leading actress fell ill, and there stood Charlotte, already embodying the role in the director's eyes. It was as if the universe had simply matched the film already playing in her mind. This principle operates continuously in your life. Your subconscious mind, that faithful servant of your deeper desires, cannot distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. It accepts as real whatever scenes you play repeatedly in your mental theater. Now you shall participate in an ancient practice known as the mental scene replay. Choose a past event that did not unfold as you desired. Sit in perfect stillness and allow your mind to become like a blank screen. Now, project onto this screen a new version of events, one that reflects your highest desires. See every detail, feel every emotion, as if this new version were the truth. Do not simply watch this new scene, become it. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the absolute brightness of this preferred reality. Let every cell of your being resonate with this new truth. Hold this vision for several minutes, knowing that your subconscious mind accepts this new version as real, creating a template for future manifestations. This practice goes beyond mere positive thinking. You are literally rewriting the energetic blueprints that shape your experience. Just as Charlotte discovered, the scenes you play in your mind become the scenes you live in your life. Chapter 3. The hidden energy behind every thought. Deep beneath the earth's surface, where shadows dance by lamplight, Elias gripped his pickaxe with trembling hands. The night before, his mind had painted vivid pictures of cracking walls and shifting stone. Now, as he traced his fingers along the mine shaft's rough surface, his heart nearly stopped. There it was, exactly as he had envisioned, a hairline fracture running through the coal face like a dark prophecy. You must understand this fundamental truth. Your thoughts are not mere whispers in the darkness of your mind. They are living forces that pulse with electromagnetic energy, drawing to you the very circumstances you most powerfully envision. When Elias feared the fault line, he unknowingly activated an ancient principle, the law that governs all creation. The universe responds not to your surface thoughts or idle wishes, but to the electric current of emotion that flows beneath them. Fear and faith carry equal power in this realm, for the universe makes no distinction between what you want and what you dread. It simply matches the energetic frequency of your dominant thoughts. In the depths of those same minds, weeks later, Elias learned to harness this power deliberately. As he worked a new section, he began each shift by holding in his mind crystal-clear images of solid walls and stable supports. He felt the security of sound rock beneath his feet and experienced the certainty of safe passage. When his lamp revealed another potential weakness in the tunnel ahead, he did not let fear take hold. Instead, he maintained his vision of protection and guided his fellow miners to reinforce the exact spot before any danger could manifest. You see, your emotional energy creates a magnetic field that either attracts or repels specific outcomes. Just as Elias's fear drew forth the very danger he dreaded, his later conscious use of positive visualization helped ensure safety. This is not coincidence, but cosmic law in action. Now you shall learn the emotional calibration exercise, passed down through generations of those who understood this hidden power. Sit quietly and bring to mind a scenario that fills you with apprehension. Feel its weight, but do not dwell there. Now, consciously shift this image into its positive opposite. If you fear loss, see abundance. If you dread illness, envision vibrant health. The key lies not in forcing the transformation, but in allowing it to flow naturally. like water finding its level. Practice this daily, and you will begin to rewire the very circuitry of your subconscious mind. Chapter 4. The Mirror of the Mind. In a small town where gas lamps cast long shadows across cobblestone streets, Margaret stood behind her shop counter each evening, counting the meager earnings that seemed to confirm her darkest expectations. "Of course, business is slow," she would whisper to herself. "What else could a widow expect?" And like clockwork, the universe provided exactly what she believed she would receive. You see, the world around you operates as a perfect mirror, reflecting back the images you hold most firmly in your mind. When you gaze into still waters, do you not see your own face looking back? So it is with the fabric of reality itself. It can only show you what you first project into it. This mirror-like quality of existence is not a punishment or reward, but rather an immutable law as constant as gravity. Your deeply held beliefs become the template from which your experiences are cast. When Margaret expected struggle, the universe could deliver nothing else, for it was bound by law to match her inner vision. But watch what transpired when Margaret discovered this truth. One morning, while arranging her shop window, she caught her reflection in the glass. Something stirred within her, a memory of her husband's words. "You have the touch of prosperity, my dear." For the first time since his passing, she allowed herself to believe it might be true. She began each day standing before that same window, seeing not an empty shop, but one filled with customers. She felt not the weight of loneliness, but the warmth of connection. Most crucially, she expected not struggle, but success, and the universe had no choice but to reshape itself around her new assumptions. Within weeks, travelers began stopping at her shop, drawn by an inexplicable sense of welcome. A wealthy merchant, seeking to establish new trade routes, chose her store as his primary supplier. Even the local widows' society, which she had long avoided, extended an invitation that blossomed into deep friendships. The mirror of reality knows no bias. It simply reflects whatever image you hold before it with unwavering conviction. Margaret's transformation came not from changing her circumstances, but from changing what she assumed those circumstances must be. Now you shall learn the reflection shift practice, a method for rewriting the patterns that repeat in your life. Find a quiet moment and identify one situation that consistently brings you distress. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Now, imagine this same scenario playing out in its exact opposite form. If you expect rejection, see acceptance. If you anticipate lack, envision abundance. Feel the reality of this new pattern until it becomes more solid than the old. The mirror of existence awaits your new reflection. Chapter 5. The Ancient Art of Seeing Beyond Sight. In the dimming light of a modest studio, Nathaniel's fingers traced the edge of his canvas, feeling the texture beneath his touch. Though his physical eyes had been darkened by the ravages of war, a different kind of sight had awakened within him. His hands moved with certainty, guided by visions that blazed bright in his mind's eye. You possess this same inner vision, a sight more powerful than mere physical eyes could ever provide. While your outer senses perceive the world of effects, your inner eye perceives the world of causes. It is this hidden faculty that shapes reality before it manifests in the physical realm. The inner eye operates beyond the limitations of space and time. It sees not what is, but what can be. When you close your physical eyes and picture something vividly in your mind, you activate this ancient power of creation. This is not imagination as the world understands it, but the very force through which the universe brings forth all things. Watch how Nathaniel wielded this power. Each morning, before touching brush to canvas, he would sit in perfect stillness, allowing images to form in the darkness of his mind. He saw not with the eyes that had failed him, but with the eye that never fails, the eye of spirit. His paintings began selling for prices that astonished the art world, not despite his blindness, but because of the clarity of his inner vision. One day, a wealthy patron visited his studio, drawn by rumors of the blind artist who painted with uncanny precision. "How can you create such vivid scenes without sight?" she asked. Nathaniel smiled and replied, "I see more clearly now than when I relied on physical eyes. The inner eye shows me the truth of things, not merely their appearance. The inner eye reveals what physical senses cannot, the eternal patterns and possibilities that exist before manifestation. This is the eye through which all great creators have gazed, whether they knew it or not. It is the eye that perceives the invisible blueprint of reality itself. To strengthen your own inner vision, practice the blindfold visualization exercise. Secure a blindfold and sit in a comfortable position. Place a simple object before you, perhaps an apple or a flower. Study it carefully, then cover your eyes. In the darkness behind your eyelids, reconstruct the object in perfect detail. See its shape, its color, its texture. Feel its presence as though it were glowing in your mind. Practice until this inner image becomes more real than what your physical eyes perceive. This is the vision that shapes reality. Chapter 6. The Golden Key to Vibrational Alignment. In the hallowed halls of the Boston Symphony, Eleanor sat motionless before the grand piano. Her fingers hovered above the ivory keys as whispers of doubt echoed through her mind. Night after night she had practiced until her hands ached, yet something essential remained beyond her grasp. You too may recognize this struggle, the distance between technical mastery and true artistry. Like Eleanor, you may have discovered that knowledge alone cannot bridge this gap. There exists a sacred alchemy that transforms mere action into magic, and it lies not in the doing, but in the feeling. Watch closely as this truth unfolds. Before her next performance, Eleanor closed her eyes and allowed herself to feel the music flowing through her being. She experienced the notes not as marks on a page, but as waves of pure emotion coursing through her soul. In that moment, she understood. Her hands had always known how to play, but her heart had not yet learned to sing. The universe responds not to what you think, but to what you feel. When Eleanor began to feel the music as if it were already playing perfectly through her, her fingers found their way as naturally as water flows downstream. This is the hidden key that unlocks all manifestation. The feeling must precede the form. At her next recital, something extraordinary occurred. A wealthy patron approached her afterward, eyes glistening with tears. "In all my years," he said, "I have never heard Mozart play with such depth of feeling." Eleanor smiled, knowing that the music had flowed not from her fingers, but from her heart. To harness this power in your own life, practice the vibrational amplification exercise. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you wish to manifest. Now, rather than merely picturing it, allow yourself to feel it as if it were already yours. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the deep knowing that accompanies its achievement. Let this feeling fill every cell of your being until you can no longer distinguish between visualization and reality. Hold this vibration for as long as you can maintain its purity. Remember, the universe does not distinguish between a feeling generated by external circumstances and one generated by inner choice. It simply matches whatever emotional frequency you broadcast. When you master the art of feeling your desires into being, you hold the master key to all manifestations. This is the sacred truth that the ancient mystics understood, that your emotional vibration acts as a beacon, drawing to you experiences that mirror your inner state. Just as a magnet attracts iron filings without questioning their source, the universe responds to your feelings with perfect precision, bringing into your life circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with your dominant emotional frequency. Through this profound understanding, you begin to recognize that you are not merely a passive observer of life, but a conscious creator, wielding the infinite power of your emotional being to shape the very fabric of your reality. Chapter 7. The Sacred Formula of Repetitive Imprinting. In the dimly lit basement of Murphy's gym, Franklin stood alone before a weathered punching bag. The young boxer's hands remained at his sides, yet his eyes held an intensity that spoke of battles being waged within his mind. You have been taught that success requires action, endless hours of physical preparation and training. While this holds truth, there exists an ancient practice far more potent than mere physical repetition. Just as water shapes stone through constant flow, your mind shapes reality through unwavering vision. The subconscious mind, that hidden realm where all manifestation begins, responds not to occasional whispers but to constant commands. Like a record playing the same groove repeatedly, each mental repetition cuts deeper into the fabric of possibility until what you envision becomes your only possible reality. Franklin discovered this truth through an aging trainer who spoke of victories won long before the bell rang. The fight happens first in the mind, the trainer told him. Win it there 100 times, and your body will simply follow the path already carved. Night after night, Franklin would sit in perfect stillness, watching the fight unfold in his mind's theater. Each punch, each movement, each moment of triumph, he saw it all with crystal clarity. The opponent he would face became as familiar as his own reflection, their every encounter already scripted in the chambers of his consciousness. When fight night arrived, something extraordinary unfolded. As Franklin stepped into the ring, time seemed to slow. His opponent moved exactly as he had in Franklin's mental rehearsals. Each punch, each dodge, each counter, all followed the blueprint etched into his subconscious through countless mental repetitions. The crowd watched in awe as Franklin executed a performance that seemed choreographed by destiny itself. To harness this power of mental imprinting, you must embrace the daily mental imprinting ritual. Find 2 periods each day, upon waking and before sleep, when your mind is most receptive. Sit in undisturbed silence and project your desired outcome onto the screen of your consciousness. See it with unwavering clarity. Feel it with absolute certainty. Let each detail burn itself into your awareness until the vision feels more real than your present circumstance. Maintain this practice without fail, knowing that each repetition drives your desire deeper into the substrate of reality. Remember, the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. Through faithful repetition, you transform your vision from possibility to probability, and finally, to inevitability. Chapter 8. How to Dissolve Limiting Visual Patterns. In a small apartment overlooking the fog-shrouded streets of San Francisco, Esther sat at her desk, staring at yet another rejection letter. The words blurred before her eyes, but she didn't need to read them. She knew their contents by heart, having played this scene in her mind countless times before. You possess within you a hidden projector, constantly streaming images that shape your tomorrow. These images, often formed in your earliest years, become the architects of your reality. Like Esther, you may find yourself trapped in a loop of familiar disappointment, wondering why the same scene plays out again and again in your life. The answer lies not in the outer world, but in the theater of your mind. Each morning as you wake, each night as you rest, these deeply embedded pictures silently direct the course of your day. They are the invisible scriptwriters of your life's story. These limiting visual loops operate with the precision of a watchmaker's mechanism, creating exact replicas of what you most deeply believe you deserve. Until you change the picture, the projection remains the same. Through an encounter with an elderly bookshop owner who recognized her talent, Esther learned the ancient truth. The mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined scene and reality. Your rejections come, the woman told her, because in your mind's eye, you have rehearsed them 1,000 times. That night, Esther began a new practice. Instead of seeing herself opening rejection letters, she visualized herself holding her published novel. She felt its weight in her hands, saw her name embossed on the cover, and experienced the joy of reading glowing reviews. Each night, she replaced the old film with this new vision. Within months, a different letter arrived, one of acceptance. The publisher's words matched the scene she had played in her mind with such devotion. Her novel will be published in the spring. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your deepest visual expectations. To transform your reality, you must first transform the pictures you hold within. Practice the visualization, rewrite, exercise. Sit in quietude and identify a recurring negative outcome in your life. See clearly the mental movie that plays before this outcome occurs. Now consciously create a new scene, one of triumph and fulfillment. Experience it with all your senses. Let this new vision play in your mind 3 times daily until it becomes more real than the old pattern. The universe will have no choice but to reflect this new image back to you. Chapter 9. The Portal Between Imagination and Manifestation. In the dim light of his workshop, Edward hunched over his drafting table, surrounded by crumpled papers and abandoned sketches. His mind, trained in the rigid paths of engineering, fought against every idea that defied conventional logic. Each time inspiration struck, his analytical nature would crush it with questions of how and why, leaving his greatest visions stillborn. You, too, may recognize this battle between logic and imagination. The mind, so eager to understand every mechanism, often becomes its own greatest obstacle. But within you lies a power far greater than reason, the power to imagine without limits, to see beyond the boundaries of what seems possible. The universe does not operate through logic alone. It responds to the pictures you hold in your consciousness, regardless of whether your rational mind can explain them. When you release the need to understand every step, when you allow your vision to exist purely in its perfection, you open the channel through which creation flows. Your analytical mind serves as a faithful servant but a poor master. It excels at executing plans, but falters at dreaming them. True manifestation occurs when you dare to imagine beyond the confines of how. Edward discovered this truth one evening when exhaustion finally silenced his questioning mind. In that moment of surrender, he allowed himself to simply see his invention complete, perfect, without concerning himself with the steps to its creation. That night, he dreamed of his machine in vivid detail, and upon waking, found solutions appearing effortlessly. People with the exact expertise he needed seemed to cross his path at precisely the right moment. Resources he hadn't known existed became available just when required. The universe had always known the how. It was Edward's insistence on understanding that had blocked its flow. His surrender to pure imagination became the key that unlocked creation itself. Practice. The free flow imagination session. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your mind to drift beyond the boundaries of what seems possible. See your desire in its completed form, perfect in every detail. If doubts arise, simply observe them passing like clouds, never engaging with questions of how. Let your vision exist purely in its own right, free from the constraints of logic. Maintain this state of pure imagination for at least 15 minutes, allowing yourself to explore the infinite possibilities that exist beyond rational thought. This is not mere daydreaming. It is opening yourself to the creative force of the universe itself. Chapter 10. Unlocking the Gateway to the Unseen Realm. In the dense bayous of Louisiana, where Spanish moss draped like ancient memories from towering cypress trees, Beatrice found herself drawn to the wisdom of the local indigenous elders. Their understanding of the natural world extended far beyond her botanical studies, reaching into realms where science and spirit merged. You stand now at the threshold of a sacred teaching, one that has remained hidden from those who seek only in daylight hours. The most potent gateway to manifestation lies not in your waking consciousness, but in those ethereal moments between sleep and awareness. As your mind drifts toward slumber, it enters a state the ancients knew well, a realm where the veil between thought and reality grows thin. Here, in this twilight consciousness, your visualizations plant themselves deep within the fertile soil of the subconscious, free from the resistance of your waking mind. Beatrice discovered this truth while studying the night-blooming plants of the bayou. The indigenous healers taught her that just as certain flowers open only in darkness, the mind's greatest power emerges in the moments before sleep. They showed her how to enter this state deliberately, using it to shape the coming day. One evening, as she lay down to rest, Beatrice held in her mind the image of discovering a rare medicinal plant she had long sought. She allowed this vision to fill her consciousness as sleep approached, neither forcing it nor analyzing it. The next day, her feet carried her to an unexplored section of the bayou, where the very plant she had envisioned waited, exactly as she had seen it. This was no coincidence. The gateway state had allowed her visualization to bypass the usual barriers of doubt and logic, speaking directly to the universe's creative force. Night after night, she refined this practice, watching in amazement as her visualized intentions manifested with increasing precision. Practice. The Nightfall Visualization Ritual. As you prepare for sleep each night, lie comfortably and allow your body to relax completely. In these precious moments before slumber claims you, hold your desire in your mind with gentle attention. See it clearly, yet without strain. Feel it as if it were already real, yet make no effort to convince yourself. Let this vision be the last thing in your consciousness as you drift towards sleep. The subconscious mind will receive this impression, working through the night to align universal forces with your intention. This ancient practice, passed down through countless generations, opens the gateway between thought and manifestation. Part 2. Deepening the Visionary Practice. Chapter 11. The Law of Symbolic Creation. In the bustling art district of 1930s New York, where chisel met stone and dreams took physical form, worked Samuel, a sculptor whose hands carved more than mere marble. Each stroke of his tools etched not just into stone, but into the fabric of reality itself. You possess this same creative force, though you may not yet recognize it. The language of manifestation runs deeper than words. It speaks in symbols, those ancient keys that unlock the deeper chambers of consciousness. When your mind encounters a symbol, it resonates at levels beyond rational thought. A circle is not merely a shape, but represents wholeness. A mountain speaks of achievement, a key whisper of opportunity. These symbols bypass the conscious mind's resistance, speaking directly to the part of you that shapes reality. Samuel's workshop held countless figures, each one unconsciously reflecting the hidden contents of his mind. A sculpture of a chained bird mirrored his own feelings of limitation. A broken column revealed his fears of instability. Yet, as he learned to understand this connection, he began wielding his craft with new intention. He carved success, abundance, and joy into his works, infusing each piece with conscious symbolic meaning. A soaring eagle replaced the chained bird. A solid pillar stood where the broken column had been. Within months, his life transformed to match these new symbols. His work gained recognition, prosperity flowed, and opportunities emerged as if summoned by the very forms he had created. The universe speaks this symbolic language fluently. When you harness a symbol that resonates with your desire, you create a bridge between thought and manifestation. This is why the ancient mystery schools used sacred geometry, why alchemists worked with specific images, and why every culture has its tokens of good fortune. Practice. The Personal Symbol Ritual. Choose or create a symbol that embodies your desire. It might be a simple geometric shape, a natural object, or an image that holds special meaning. A spiral could represent growth and expansion. A mountain peak might symbolize achievement and mastery. A blooming flower could embody the unfolding of new opportunities. Hold this symbol in your mind daily, or keep a physical representation where you can see it. Draw it in your journal, craft it from natural materials, or simply trace its form in meditation. Let it become a focal point for your intention, a beacon calling forth that which you seek to manifest. As you work with your chosen symbol, feel its resonance growing stronger, its meaning deepening with each encounter. Through this symbol, your visualization gains the power of ancient wisdom, speaking in a language the universe cannot ignore. Like the sacred geometries of temples and the meaningful marks left by mystics through the ages, your symbol becomes a bridge between the seen and unseen realms. Chapter 12. The Emotion-Infused Vision. In the twilight of the silent film era, when the world was changing and dreams seemed to slip through fingers like grains of sand, Genevieve stood before her mirror, her voice unused and her spirit dimmed. Night after night, she pictured herself on stage, yet her visions remained lifeless, mere shadows without substance. You see, the power of manifestation lies not in the pictures you create, but in the energy you infuse them with. The universe responds not to empty thoughts, but to the vibration of feeling that accompanies them. When you send forth a vision without emotion, it is like casting a seed upon barren soil. It cannot take root, cannot grow, cannot flourish. Genevieve's breakthrough came when she ceased merely seeing herself perform and began to feel the music course through her veins once more. As she visualized, she allowed herself to experience the warmth of the spotlight, the texture of the microphone in her hand, the anticipation before the first note. Most importantly, she rekindled her love for the art itself, the pure joy of letting melody flow through her being. Within weeks, an opportunity emerged that mirrored her emotionally charged visions with uncanny precision. A new theater opened, seeking performers who could bridge the gap between silent films and the emerging talkies. Genevieve found herself on stage, living the very moment she had felt so deeply in her practice. This truth has been whispered through the ages. Emotion is the bridge between thought and manifestation. When you infuse your visualizations with genuine feeling, you create a magnetic force that the universe cannot ignore. It is not enough to picture what you desire. You must feel it with every fiber of your being. Practice. Sensory emotional activation. Sit in perfect stillness, finding a sacred space where you can remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and create your vision with deliberate intention, allowing it to form naturally in your mind's eye. Now, layer in each sense one by one, building a complete sensory experience of your desired reality. What do you see before you in perfect detail? What sounds surround you, from the subtlest whisper to the boldest declaration? What textures can you feel against your skin, beneath your feet, at your fingertips? What scents fill the air, triggering memories and deepening your immersion? Most crucially, what emotions surge through your body as you experience this reality? The joy, the peace, the overwhelming sense of achievement. Let these feelings grow until they become as real as any physical sensation, until your heart races with excitement or slows with profound contentment. Hold this state for several minutes, allowing the emotional energy to saturate every aspect of your visualization, infusing each imagined detail with living power. This is not mere daydreaming. It is the active charging of your manifestation with the power of pure feeling, a sacred practice that aligns your energy with the creative force of the universe itself. Chapter 13. The Hidden Language of the Universe. Along the windswept shores of Nova Scotia, Wallace tended his lighthouse with unwavering dedication. Each morning, he would study the sea's surface, noting the subtle dance of waves and the whispers carried on the wind. Over time, he discovered that nature spoke in a language far more ancient than words, a language of signs and patterns that foretold what was to come. You too are surrounded by signs from the universe, messages written in the fabric of everyday life. These signals appear as recurring numbers, chance encounters, or unexpected alignments that catch your attention. They are the universe's way of confirming that your visualizations have been received and are taking form in the unseen realms before manifesting in the physical world. Just as Wallace learned to read the sea's warnings in the patterns of waves, the angle of seabirds' flight, and the changing colors of the horizon, you must attune yourself to the subtle language of manifestation. The universe never fails to send confirmation that your desires are in motion, if you maintain the awareness to perceive them. In the months that followed, Wallace's understanding deepened. He noticed how certain cloud formations would appear 3 days before a storm, how the tide's rhythm would shift in particular ways, how the lighthouse's beam would refract differently through approaching weather systems. By trusting these signs, he began preparing the harbor long before others saw danger approaching. Ships were safely guided to port, fishing boats recalled to shore, and lives preserved through his ability to read nature's hidden messages. The signs that appear in your life are equally meaningful. When you hold a vision in your mind with clarity and emotion, the universe responds with a trail of breadcrumbs leading toward its manifestation. A conversation that echoes your desires, a book that falls open to the perfect page, a sequence of events too perfect to be coincidence. These are the lighthouse beams guiding you toward your manifesting reality. Practice. Sign recognition journal. Keep a small notebook by your side throughout the day. When something unusual catches your attention, a repeated phrase, a meaningful coincidence, a pattern that seems to speak directly to your desires, record it without judgment. Note the date, time, and any emotions or insights that arise. Over time, patterns will emerge, revealing the universe's response to your visualizations. This practice will strengthen your ability to read the signs that confirm your manifestations are approaching. Pay special attention to those moments that create a subtle stirring in your soul, for these are often the universe's most profound messages. Perhaps you'll notice the same number sequence appearing on clocks and receipts, or find yourself repeatedly encountering conversations that mirror your inner thoughts. Each synchronicity, no matter how small it may seem, is a thread in the tapestry of your unfolding destiny. As you document these occurrences faithfully, you'll begin to recognize the unique language through which the universe speaks to you, transforming what once seemed like random events into a clear roadmap of divine guidance. Chapter 14. How to transmit your vision into the field of creation. In a dimly lit telegraph office in Boston, Lewis sat before his equipment, fingers poised above the brass key. Through countless hours of transmitting messages across the continent, he had learned a fundamental truth about communication with the unseen. Clarity was everything. You, like Louis, are constantly sending signals into the vast network of universal consciousness. Every thought, every visualization travels through the ethereal wires of creation, seeking manifestation. But just as a telegraph message must be transmitted with precision to be received correctly, your mental signals must maintain unwavering clarity to manifest your desires. The mind operates on principles similar to Lewis's telegraph system. when he allowed doubt to creep in, when his hand trembled or his attention wavered. The messages became garbled, requiring repetition. Similarly, when your visualizations are interrupted by doubt, fear, or competing thoughts, the universe receives mixed signals, delaying or distorting your manifestations. One evening, as Louis perfected his technique of sending crystal-clear messages across the wire, he realized that the same principle applied to his personal desires. He began treating his visualizations like telegraph transmissions, pure, focused, and uninterrupted. Each morning before work, he would sit in perfect stillness, projecting his desires with the same precision he used at his telegraph key. Within weeks, his life began transforming, with the same reliability as his perfectly transmitted messages. The universe responds to mental signals with absolute precision. When your visualization is clear, consistent, and free from static, manifestation occurs with remarkable speed and accuracy. But when your mental transmission is clouded by doubt or divided attention, the result is like a garbled telegraph message, unclear and requiring correction. Practice. Focused projection exercise. Sit in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, creating a sacred environment for your spiritual transmission. Close your eyes and imagine your desire as a clear signal you're transmitting into the universe, just as pure and focused as a telegraph operator sending an important message across the wires. For 5 minutes, maintain this single visualization without allowing any other thoughts to interrupt the pure stream of your intention. If distractions arise, do not judge them. Simply acknowledge their presence and gently return to your clear signal, like a skilled operator adjusting their instrument to eliminate static. Like a telegraph operator who knows the vital importance of precision, practice sending your desire with perfect clarity, free from doubt or interference. Feel the power of your focused mind as it projects this pure signal into the infinite. With each practice session, you will strengthen your ability to maintain the clear mental signals that the universe responds to most powerfully, creating an unbreakable connection between your conscious intention and the cosmic forces that shape reality. Chapter 15. The Magnetic Power of Unwavering Certainty. In a makeshift hospital tent near the front lines, Clara moved between rows of wounded soldiers, her unwavering certainty radiating like a beacon in the darkness. While other nurses whispered about hopeless cases, she held a different vision in her mind, one of complete recovery for every patient under her care. You possess this same power of absolute certainty, a force so potent it can override what others call impossible. When your mind refuses to entertain doubt, when your vision remains unshakable despite external circumstances, you tap into the highest law of manifestation. The universe responds not to wishes or mere hopes, but to the unquestioning certainty that dwells in the depths of your consciousness. This is not blind faith, but rather the same natural knowing that a seed will become a flower or night will turn to day. It is an inner knowing so complete that questioning becomes impossible. As Clara tended to a soldier others had deemed beyond help, she held in her mind an image of him walking home to his family. She did not hope. She knew. Within days, his fever broke, and wounds that should have been fatal began to heal. More soldiers under her care defied medical predictions, recovering in ways that left doctors baffled. This power of certainty transcends logic, reason, and the apparent limitations of physical reality. When you reach this state of knowing, doubt becomes as foreign as questioning whether the sun will rise. Your vision is no longer a possibility, but an inevitability waiting to materialize. Yet most remain trapped in wavering beliefs, allowing doubt to corrupt their mental signals. True certainty is rare because it requires abandoning all backup plans, all alternative possibilities. It demands that you release the need to know how and simply know that. Practice. Belief calibration test. Close your eyes and bring forth your desired outcome in vivid, living detail. Let it fill your consciousness completely, as though you're already experiencing it at this moment. Notice any thoughts that begin with but, maybe, or what if. These are the signals of wavering belief, the subtle saboteurs of manifestation that must be identified and transformed. Now focus on something you're completely certain about, like gravity or the beating of your heart. Feel the quality of that certainty, the absolute knowing that requires no proof or validation. This is the foundation of true belief. Gradually transfer this same unwavering knowledge to your desire until doubt becomes as impossible as questioning whether water is wet or fire is hot. Feel how this certainty settles into your being, becoming as natural as breathing. Hold this state for several minutes, allowing the conviction to deepen with each breath. Let it strengthen your mental resolve until it becomes unshakable, until your desired outcome feels as real and inevitable as the rising of tomorrow's sun. This is the state of pure knowing that birth is miraculous. Chapter 16. Why Most People Fail at Manifesting, and How to Fix It. In the bustling streets of Chicago, Alfred stood before his empty storefront, his third failed business in as many years. Each morning, he had visualized success, wealth, and prosperity. Yet his reality remained unchanged. His story holds a vital key to understanding why some visualizations manifest while others fade into nothing. You must understand that the art of manifestation follows precise universal laws. When your desires fail to materialize, it is not because the law has failed, but because you have unknowingly violated its principles. The first violation occurs when visualization lacks emotional power. Your thoughts must carry the full weight of feeling, as if your desire already exists. Alfred would picture success, but his heart remained cold, his emotions disconnected from his mental images. The second violation emerges through contradicting visualizations. While Alfred pictured success during his morning ritual, he spent the rest of his day imagining failure, worry, and lack. These opposing visions canceled each other out, like waves colliding and dissolving into stillness. The third violation stems from impatience. The universe works in perfect timing, yet many abandon their visualizations just before manifestation occurs. They mistake the gap between vision and reality for failure, when it is merely the necessary period of incubation. One evening, as Alfred reviewed his ledgers, understanding dawned. His visualizations had been hollow performances, lacking the vital force of emotion. His mind had been divided, simultaneously holding images of success and failure. And his impatience had led him to constantly change course, never allowing any single vision to take root. With this awareness, Alfred transformed his approach. He began infusing his morning visualizations with the exact feeling of running a thriving business. He guarded his mind throughout the day, refusing to entertain thoughts of failure, and he settled into patient certainty, knowing his vision would manifest in perfect timing. Within weeks, an unexpected opportunity arose. A wealthy investor, drawn to Alfred's unwavering confidence, offered to fund his next venture. This time, success followed naturally, as if it had been inevitable all along. Practice. Manifestation correction. Exercise. Bring to mind a desire that has not yet manifested. Examine your visualization practice through these three lenses. First, gauge the emotional temperature of your vision. Does it feel real and alive or merely intellectual? Second, track your thoughts throughout the day. Are you unknowingly holding contradicting visions? Third, assess your patience. Have you given your vision enough time to materialize? Identify which of these areas requires correction, then adjust your practice accordingly. The power of manifestation never fails. It simply awaits proper alignment. Chapter 17. The Dark Night Before the Breakthrough. In the depths of the Great Depression, Martha Thompson stood before her empty cupboards, her 3 children asleep upstairs. Her husband's death had left them destitute, and despite her unwavering prayers and visualizations, their situation seemed to worsen with each passing day. You must understand that the darkest hour often comes just before manifestation. When circumstances appear most dire, the universe is not punishing you. It is testing the strength of your belief. Like gold refined in fire, your faith must withstand the heat of apparent failure. The law of manifestation operates through paradox. Often before your desires materialize, you will face circumstances that seem to contradict everything you've visualized. This is not a sign of failure, but a sacred invitation to prove your conviction. Martha's story teaches us this eternal truth. As her savings dwindled and creditors threatened to seize her home, she continued to hold steadfast to her vision of abundance and security. Each night, she would visualize her children well-fed, her bills paid, and prosperity flowing into their lives. Even as neighbors whispered about the poorhouse, she refused to abandon her inner knowing. Then, in the morning, she sold her last valuable possession, her wedding ring. Something extraordinary occurred. A letter arrived from a distant relative she had never met, containing an inheritance she knew nothing about. Her husband, years before his death, had invested in a small oil venture that had finally struck black gold. The second story speaks of Thomas, a lighthouse keeper who faced the fiercest storm of his career. As massive waves threatened to extinguish his light, he maintained his post, knowing ships depended on his unwavering signal. Just when it seemed the lighthouse would crumble, the storm broke, and every vessel guided by his light reached shore safely. This mirrors your own journey with manifestation. The universe often sends storms to test whether you will keep your light burning, your vision glowing, even when darkness surrounds you. Those who maintain their spiritual posture through these tests inevitably witness the dawn of their desires. Practice. The persistence ritual. When circumstances challenge your vision, sit in silence and perform this ancient practice. Place your hands over your heart and speak these words with absolute conviction. Though appearances may deny it, my good is already mine. What I seek seeks me, and no earthly condition can prevent its manifestation. Repeat this affirmation until you feel its truth resonate through every fiber of your being. Chapter 18. How to use the night to reprogram reality. In the shadow-filled observatory of Mount Wilson, Benjamin Matthews adjusted his telescope beneath the vast canvas of stars. Night after night he charted celestial bodies, yet his greatest discovery had nothing to do with astronomy. It began when he noticed that his thoughts, like the heavens themselves, held different power in the darkness. You must understand that the mind operates according to natural cycles. Just as the stars become visible only after sunset, the deepest chambers of consciousness open their doors in the silence of night. This is not mere coincidence, but a fundamental law of mental operation. When day surrenders to darkness, when the busy world grows still, your mind enters a sacred state of receptivity. In these precious moments before sleep claims you, the barrier between conscious and subconscious thought becomes thin as gossamer. Here, in this twilight realm, your visualizations plant themselves most deeply into the fertile soil of possibility. Benjamin discovered this truth quite by accident. One evening, exhausted from his observations, he allowed his mind to drift into a vivid daydream about securing funding for new equipment. That night, as sleep approached, the vision remained crystal clear in his consciousness. The next morning, an unexpected telegram arrived announcing a private grant for his research, matching the exact amount he had imagined. The night sky holds secrets beyond the movement of planets and stars. It teaches us that creation requires darkness, silence, and stillness. Your thoughts, like starlight, travel most purely through the quiet void. Benjamin began experimenting with this principle systematically. Each night before sleep, he would focus his mind's eye on a single desired outcome, holding it steady as consciousness merged with dreams. Without fail, these nighttime visions manifested with startling precision, as if the universe itself had been waiting for the cover of darkness to receive his mental transmissions. To work with this principle yourself, establish a nightfall visualization ritual. As you lie in bed, when sleep begins to approach, bring forth the image of your desire. Hold it gently but clearly, allowing it to float in your mind as naturally as stars hang in the night sky. Feel the reality of it, not with effort, but with the easy acceptance that comes in these drowsy moments. Let this vision be the last thing your consciousness touches before dreams begin. The subconscious mind will work throughout the night, aligning universal forces to manifest what you have shown it. This practice, performed consistently, opens a gateway between thought and reality that the ancient mystics knew well. For in the darkness, when the world grows quiet, the mind's true power awakens. Chapter 19. The Gratitude Hack that Supercharges Your Manifestation. In a small tailor shop on the outskirts of Boston, Eleanor Thompson sat at her sewing machine, mending a gentleman's coat. Though her circumstances were modest, she had developed a peculiar habit, expressing thanks for every stitch, every customer, every coin that crossed her palm. You must grasp this fundamental truth. Gratitude is not merely a virtue, it is a force that multiplies whatever it touches. When you give thanks for what exists in your life, you create an energetic signal that draws more of the same toward you. This is not wishful thinking, but a law as certain as gravity itself. The mind cannot simultaneously hold gratitude and lack. When you fill your thoughts with appreciation, you automatically align with abundance. Each thankful thought becomes a seed, growing into greater manifestations of what you value. Eleanor discovered this truth through simple observation. She noticed that on days when she felt most grateful, more customers would appear. When she appreciated the quality of her thread and needles, finer materials would find their way to her shop. What began as coincidence revealed itself as principle. One autumn morning, Eleanor decided to express profound thanks for her Singer sewing machine, though it was old and temperamental. That very afternoon, a wealthy woman entered her shop, requesting elaborate work that would require better equipment. Within a week, Eleanor had earned enough to purchase 2 new machines. This pattern continued as she gave thanks for each new blessing, watching her business expand beyond her wildest dreams. Your thoughts create, but gratitude multiplies. It transforms the soil of your mind into fertile ground where manifestations take root and flourish. When you appreciate what you have, the universe responds by giving you more to be grateful for. To harness this principle, practice the gratitude amplification exercise. Each morning, sit quietly and select 3 things you currently possess or experience. Feel genuine thankfulness for each one, allowing the emotion to fill your entire being. Then, picture your desired manifestation and wrap it in this same feeling of gratitude, as if it already exists. This fusion of appreciation and visualization creates an irresistible attractive force that speeds manifestation. Hold each item or experience in your mind for several minutes, allowing genuine appreciation to build until you feel it in your heart. Then direct this same emotional energy toward what you wish to manifest, treating it as if it too is already present in your life. This practice creates a bridge between current blessings and future manifestations, using gratitude as its foundation. Chapter 20. The Mysterious Time Delay. In the annals of time, there exists a tale of Henry Matthews, a railway engineer who served the great iron horses of 1910. Each day he watched as some trains gilded effortlessly to their destinations, while others faced mysterious delays despite identical routes and conditions. You must understand this vital truth. Manifestation follows precise universal timing, not human schedules. Just as trains operate on their own timetable, influenced by countless unseen factors, your desires materialize according to cosmic law. When you plant a seed, you cannot demand it sprout before its season. Some visions manifest swiftly, like summer blooms, while others require the patience of an oak's growth. This is not a reflection of your power or worthiness. It is simply the natural order of creation. Henry observed that his constant checking of the tracks never hastened a train's arrival. In fact, his anxious monitoring often distracted him from maintaining the very rails that ensured smooth passage. One day, while watching a delayed train finally pull into the station, he realized a profound truth. Every train reached its destination, regardless of his worry. The universe operates with perfect precision. When you send forth a vision, countless wheels are set in motion. Events, people, and circumstances must align. Some desires require minimal arrangement, manifesting almost instantly. Others demand extensive preparation in the unseen realm before emerging into physical form. Henry learned to trust the process. He focused on maintaining clear tracks, like maintaining clear vision, and allowed each train its natural journey. Soon he noticed that the trains he worried about least often arrived most smoothly. Your task is not to force manifestation, but to hold steady faith while the universe arranges all necessary elements. Doubt acts as a brake, slowing the very process you wish to accelerate. Faith, however, keeps the tracks clear for your desire's arrival. To master this wisdom, practice the patience anchoring exercise. Sit quietly and envision your desire. Now, Release all attachment to when it must appear. Feel complete peace knowing it is already in motion. Like a station master who trusts the railway schedule, maintain your vision while surrendering the timing to universal law. Practice this daily, especially when doubt or impatience arise. As you perform this exercise, notice how your body relaxes and your mind settles into a deeper state of trust. The universe operates with perfect timing, not a moment too soon or too late. Your role is to remain steadfast in your knowing while allowing divine orchestration to unfold naturally. When you catch yourself wanting to force or rush manifestation, gently return to this place of peaceful certainty. Remember that just as a flower cannot be forced to bloom before its season, your desires emerge in accordance with cosmic law. This patient surrender actually accelerates their arrival by removing the resistance of anxiety and doubt. Part 3. Mastering the Hidden Force. Chapter 21. The Law of Dimensional Manifestation. In the early days of radio, when the invisible nature of electromagnetic waves seemed more magic than science, there lived an inventor named Elliot Warner. In his workshop, surrounded by copper wires and crude vacuum tubes, he wrestled with a truth that challenged everything he understood about reality. You must grasp this fundamental principle. Just as radio waves exist unseen around you, carrying music and voices through the air, your desires already exist in a higher dimension. They hover, fully formed, waiting for you to tune into their frequency. Elliot spent countless hours adjusting dials and reconfiguring circuits, unable to accept that messages could travel through empty space. His logical mind demanded tangible proof. Yet one autumn evening, as he made one final adjustment to his receiver, a clear voice emerged from the static. In that moment, his understanding of reality transformed forever. The universe operates much like Elliot's radio. Every possibility, every potential outcome already exists in what mystics call the higher dimensions. Your task is not to create these realities. They are already there. You need only learn to tune into them, to adjust your inner dials until you receive their signal clearly. As Elliot mastered his invention, he noticed that the clearer his equipment, the better the reception. Similarly, the clearer your visualization, the stronger your connection to the reality you seek. He learned that radio waves were not magic, but natural law, just as manifestation follows precise universal principles. What you seek already exists. Your visualization is not creating something new, but tuning into a frequency where your desire has already manifested. Like a radio receiving distant broadcasts, your mind receives impressions from these higher dimensions, pulling them into physical form. To access these higher dimensions, perform the dimensional tuning exercise. Close your eyes and envision the version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. Feel their confidence, their certainty, their joy. Now, step into their energy field, allowing their reality to merge with yours. Maintain this connection for several minutes, knowing you are not pretending. You are tuning into an existing frequency of yourself. This practice bridges dimensions, allowing what exists in higher realms to flow into your physical experience. Just as Elliot's radio pulled voices from the air, your focused consciousness draws manifestations from the unseen into the seen. Through this sacred connection, you become a living channel between worlds, transforming ethereal possibilities into tangible realities. The more you practice this dimensional attunement, the stronger your ability to manifest becomes, like a master craftsman perfecting their art through dedicated practice. You are not creating, you are receiving, translating, and anchoring the infinite possibilities that already exist in the higher planes of consciousness. Chapter 22. The Ancient Practice of Seeing Beyond Sight. In the bustling streets of 1911 Boston, there lived a remarkable woman named Rose Bennett. Though her physical eyes had never known light, she moved through the world with such grace and certainty that strangers often failed to notice her blindness. Her secret lay not in heightened hearing or touch, but in a power that dwells within all beings, the ability to see with the mind's eye. You possess this same innate gift. The physical eyes perceive only shadows of reality, while true vision emanates from within. This truth has been whispered through the ages. What you see in your mind shapes what manifests in your world. Rose's doctors were mystified by her ability to describe objects and navigate spaces she had never physically encountered. When questioned, she would smile and explain that she saw not with her eyes, but with her heart, with an inner vision that transcended physical limitation. The universe responds not to what your physical eyes perceive, but to what your mind's eye projects. This inner sight is the true architect of reality, painting pictures that the universe must match. When you master this inner vision, physical reality bends to meet it. In time, Rose began teaching others her method. She would gather small groups in her parlor, instructing them to close their eyes and strengthen their inner sight. A businessman who attended her sessions soon found his visualized opportunities materializing. A struggling artist discovered she could see her completed works in perfect detail before touching brush to canvas. The mind's eye is like a muscle. It strengthens with use. Those who practice seeing beyond physical limitation tap into the creative force that shapes worlds. Rose's students learned that what they could vividly imagine in their mind's eye would inevitably appear in their physical experience. To awaken this power within yourself, practice the blindfold visualization exercise. Sit quietly in a familiar room, one where you feel most at peace. Close your eyes and begin to see every detail of your surroundings, the furniture, the colors, the textures, the way light falls across surfaces, the subtle shadows in corners. Notice how your inner vision becomes clearer with practice, like a lens slowly coming into perfect focus. Hold these mental images until they feel as real as physical sight, until you can move through this inner landscape with the same confidence as you would with open eyes. This exercise strengthens your ability to see beyond surface reality, allowing you to project your desires with greater clarity into the universal field. As you master this technique, you'll discover that the boundaries between imagination and manifestation grow increasingly thin. For what you can hold steadily in your mind's eye must inevitably take form in your physical world. Chapter 23. The Unseen Threads. Connecting all manifestations. In a dimly lit workshop in Vienna, Victor Reinhardt bent over his workbench, studying the intricate mechanism of a pocket watch. Each tiny gear, spring, and jewel worked in perfect harmony, creating a delicate dance of precision. As his trained eye followed the movement of the components, he witnessed a truth that would transform his understanding of reality itself. You see, just as every component in a timepiece affects the whole, your thoughts and beliefs form an interconnected web that shapes your entire existence. No manifestation stands alone. Each is part of an intricate tapestry of cause and effect that spans beyond what the physical eye can perceive. The universe operates like a grand clockwork, where adjusting one element inevitably influences all others. Your desire for abundance connects to your beliefs about worth, your thoughts about possibility, your past experiences with money, and countless other unseen gears turning in the machinery of your consciousness. Victor discovered this principle one afternoon when a wealthy client brought him a malfunctioning chronometer. For days, he had adjusted individual components without success, until he realized that a barely perceptible misalignment in a single gear was affecting the entire mechanism. Once he corrected this minute detail, the watch's function transformed completely. This revelation mirrors the way your reality operates. A shift in one belief, perhaps about your capabilities or worth, creates ripples that touch every aspect of your life. When you adjust your thoughts about success, you unknowingly alter your relationships, health, and opportunities. Just as Victor learned to see his watches as unified systems rather than collections of parts, you must understand that your manifestations are not isolated events, but expressions of your entire belief system working in concert. To harness this wisdom, take a blank page and map the intricate connections between your thoughts and your reality. Draw lines between related beliefs and outcomes. Notice how your conviction about deserving love influences your career, or how your thoughts about abundance affect your health. Adjust these mental gears with precision, knowing that each shift reverberates through the entire mechanism of your life. This ancient practice of reality mapping reveals the hidden connections that shape your world. As you identify and adjust the beliefs that no longer serve you, watch as the entire mechanism of your life begins to move in perfect alignment with your desires. Each line you draw becomes a sacred thread in the tapestry of your consciousness, illuminating the intricate dance between thought and manifestation. Like a master watchmaker fine-tuning the most delicate timepiece, you will discover how the smallest adjustment to your belief system can create profound ripples through every aspect of your existence. Chapter 24. The Power of Collective Visualization. In the bustling streets of New York City, 1919, Beatrice Morgan stood among a sea of women, their thoughts united in an unshakable vision of equality. What unfolded before her eyes would reveal one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation, the exponential force of collective vision. When minds unite in perfect harmony, focusing on a single outcome, the universe responds with unprecedented power. Just as a single match may light a candle, but many flames together create an unstoppable blaze, your visualizations grow exponentially stronger when merged with others who share your vision. The ancients understood this profound truth. Every great temple, pyramid, and sacred site was built not through individual effort, but through the combined spiritual force of many minds working as one. When multiple consciousnesses align their energy toward a single purpose, they create a vortex of manifestation that can reshape reality itself. Beatrice witnessed this power firsthand as she gathered with her fellow suffragettes each evening. In candlelit rooms, they would close their eyes and hold the image of women voting, leading, and standing equal before the law. What began as a mere whisper of change soon became an unstoppable wave. Politicians who had stood firmly against women's rights suddenly changed their positions. Laws that had seemed immovable began to crack. The collective vision of these women had created an energetic momentum that could not be denied. This same principle operates in your life today. When you join your visualization with others who share your goal, you tap into a manifestation force that far exceeds what any individual could achieve alone. Two minds united multiply the power of intention. Three minds create an even greater amplification. As more consciousness aligns with a shared vision, the speed and magnitude of manifestation increase dramatically. To harness this ancient wisdom, gather with one or more kindred spirits who share your vision. Find a quiet space where you can focus without interruption. Sit in a circle, close your eyes, and align your breath. Together, hold the same image in your minds. See it, feel it, know it as already accomplished. Let your individual energies merge into a single powerful force of creation. As you practice this collective visualization, you may notice subtle shifts in the air around you, a tangible sense of energy building. This is the ancient force of group manifestation awakening. Hold your shared vision steady, allowing it to grow stronger with each breath. Trust that the combined power of your united minds is now setting in motion forces far greater than you could summon alone. Remember, just as Beatrice and her companions transformed an entire nation through their collective vision, you too can harness this multiplied power of manifestation. The universe responds not just to individual thought, but to the harmonious fusion of minds united in purpose. Practice. The group visualization exercise. Gather with one or more people who share your manifestation goal. Sit together in a quiet space, close your eyes, and synchronize your breathing. Hold the same vision in your minds, feeling it as already real. Maintain this shared focus for at least 15 minutes, allowing your individual energies to merge into a single, powerful force of creation. Chapter 25. How to hold a vision amidst chaos. In the depths of the North Atlantic, where ancient waters test the mettle of all who dare to cross them, Captain Edgar Matthews stood at the helm of the Meridian as storm clouds gathered on the horizon. The seasoned captain knew that what approached was more than mere weather. It was a divine test of his ability to hold steady in the face of chaos. You see, in moments of crisis, the mind faces its greatest challenge. When circumstances appear to contradict your desired outcome, when the winds of reality howl against your vision, your power to manifest is truly measured. It is simple to hold a vision when seas are calm, but mastery reveals itself in the storm. As massive waves crashed against the Meridian's hull, Edgar maintained an inner stillness that seemed to defy nature itself. While his crew succumbed to fear, he held firmly to the image of safe passage, knowing that external chaos cannot disrupt internal clarity unless permitted. The universe operates through this immutable law. Your vision must remain constant regardless of circumstance. Like a lighthouse whose beam never wavers despite the tempest, your mind must project unwavering certainty, even when reality suggests otherwise. This is not mere optimism. It is the fundamental principle of manifestation under pressure. Watch now as Edgar, 3 days into the storm, stands unwavering. While others see only destruction, he maintains the vision of calm seas and safe harbor. Hour by hour, his steady focus begins to influence the very elements themselves. The waves, though still fierce, no longer threaten to overwhelm. The wind, though strong, now seems to guide rather than hinder. This tale reveals the hidden truth of manifestation, that external circumstances bow to internal certainty. Just as Edgar's unwavering vision guided his ship through impossible odds, your ability to maintain clear focus during adversity determines whether your desires manifest or dissolve. To strengthen this power within yourself, engage in the crisis visualization exercise. Close your eyes and hold your desired outcome clearly in mind. Now, imagine various challenges arising: doubt, fear, opposition, or chaos. Practice maintaining your vision with perfect clarity despite these mental storms. Feel your certainty growing stronger as each imagined obstacle fails to shake your focus. Witness how your inner strength becomes an impenetrable shield against doubt and uncertainty. With each practice session, you forge deeper roots of conviction, like a mighty oak whose branches may sway in fierce winds, yet whose foundation remains unshaken. This exercise forges unshakable faith, ensuring your manifestations remain on course regardless of external conditions. Through consistent practice, you develop an unwavering center of calm that radiates outward, transforming not just your own reality, but influencing the very fabric of circumstances around you. Chapter 26. The Secret Role of Action in the Visualization Process. High in the Colorado mountains, where dreams of fortune beckoned countless souls, John Hawthorne sat beside his tent, gazing at maps he'd memorized 100 times over. For months, he had visualized the exact location of a rich gold deposit, seeing it so clearly in his mind that he could trace its veins with his fingers. Yet there he remained, waiting for the universe to deliver his fortune without lifting his pickaxe. You must understand that the power of visualization operates through you, not despite you. The universe does not distinguish between thought and action. They are two halves of the same whole. Like a seed requiring both sunlight and soil to grow, manifestation demands both mental clarity and physical movement. When you hold a vision within your mind, you become a channel through which the universal force flows. But this force seeks expression through action. It whispers directions, nudges intuition, and creates opportunities, yet these mean nothing without your willingness to move. Watch as John finally rises one morning, his visualization having grown too powerful to ignore. Something within him shifts, a recognition that he himself is the bridge between vision and reality. Following an inner prompting that had long been present, he ventures to a specific location he'd seen countless times in his mind. There, beneath the soil his hands had feared to turn, lay exactly what he had visualized, a gold deposit that would have remained forever hidden had he continued merely to wait. In that moment, John understood that his visualization had been perfect all along. It was his reluctance to act that had delayed its manifestation. This eternal truth stands before you now. Visualization without action is like a map without a journey. The universe responds not to passive waiting, but to aligned movement. When you act in harmony with your vision, you complete the circuit of manifestation. To embody this wisdom in your own life, engage in the Inspired Action Challenge. Take your most vivid visualization and identify one tangible step you can take toward its realization. This action need not be grand. It must simply align with your vision. Perhaps it's a phone call you've delayed, a letter you've hesitated to write, or a skill you've postponed learning. Choose one action and execute it within the next 24 hours. Feel how this movement energizes your visualization, bringing it closer to physical reality. Remember, the universe does not require you to see the entire path, only to take the next step that presents itself. As you align action with vision, you become not just a dreamer, but a creator of your reality. Chapter 27. When to let go and when to intensify visualization. Along the misty shores of Maine, Clifford Thorne stood in his weathered boat, learning the most vital lesson any fisherman or manifester could master. As the morning sun painted the waves in golden light, he watched his line stretch taut against an unseen force below. You must understand that manifestation, like fishing, requires an exquisite balance. Too much force shatters the connection, while too little allows your desire to slip away. This delicate dance between effort and surrender determines whether your visions materialize or remain forever beneath the surface of possibility. When you hold a vision in your mind, you cast your line into the infinite waters of potential. The universe responds to this cast, but what follows determines everything. Some seekers grip their desires so tightly that they strangle the very force trying to deliver them. Others, in their attempt to trust the process, let go completely and drift aimlessly without direction. Watch as Clifford learns this truth through experience. After losing countless fish through either excessive force or insufficient attention, he discovers the subtle art of maintaining tension while allowing movement. Sometimes the line must be held firm. Other times it must be given slack. His success comes not from a fixed approach, but from learning to read the subtle signals of each moment. This wisdom applies directly to your manifestations. There are times when your vision requires intense focus, when you must hold steady against doubt and resistance. Yet there are also moments when the universe asks you to loosen your grip, to trust that what you've set in motion is already unfolding. To master this balance in your own practice, engage in the surrender versus focus test. Sit quietly with your current manifestation. Notice how it feels in your body. Does holding the vision create tension or ease? Does the thought of releasing control bring anxiety or relief? Let your intuition guide you. If you sense resistance, perhaps it's time to loosen your grip. If you feel disconnected, it may be time to strengthen your focus. Like Clifford with his fishing line, learn to read the subtle signals that tell you whether to hold firm or let go. Remember, the universe responds not to force, but to harmony. Your role is to maintain just enough tension to stay connected while allowing enough freedom for your desire to swim naturally toward you. Like a skilled dancer moving in perfect rhythm, you must find that delicate balance between holding your vision and releasing attachment. When you align with this divine flow, manifestation becomes effortless, a sacred dance between your focused intention and the universe's perfect timing. Trust that what you seek is already seeking you, requiring only your gentle guidance to bring it into form. Chapter 28. The Highest Form of Visualization. In the quiet hours before dawn, Clara Matthews moved through the dimly lit corridors of Boston's working-class homes, carrying not just her medical bag, but a power far more potent, her unwavering vision of life. You see, when Clara entered a birthing room, she brought more than mere midwifery skills. She carried an absolute certainty, a vision so clear and powerful that it transformed the very atmosphere around her. As she tended to expectant mothers, her mind held one image with perfect clarity: a healthy child, a strong mother, and a room filled with joy. The universe responds not just to your personal visions, but to those you hold for others. When you project healing thoughts, success, or well-being onto another soul, you tap into a higher dimension of manifestation, one unclouded by personal desire or ego. Consider how Clara's presence affected Sarah Miller, a young mother whose labor had stretched dangerous hours. The doctors had begun to whisper their concerns, but Clara saw only one outcome. In her mind's eye, she witnessed Sarah holding her healthy child, heard the first cry, felt the relief and joy permeating the room. This vision, held with unwavering faith, created an energetic field that enveloped both mother and child. As dawn approached, Sarah's strength returned mysteriously. The baby, who had seemed stuck, suddenly moved into perfect position. Within moments, precisely as Clara had envisioned, a healthy cry pierced the morning silence. When you hold a vision for another's highest good, you activate a sacred law of manifestation. Your thoughts, freed from self-interest, carry a special potency. They move through the ethereal realm unencumbered by doubt or personal attachment. To access this power yourself, begin the compassionate manifestation exercise. Select someone in need of support, perhaps a friend facing illness, a colleague struggling with a decision, or a family member seeking direction. Close your eyes and see their situation resolving in the most beneficial way, allowing the scene to unfold naturally in your mind's eye. Feel the joy of their success, the relief of their healing, or the peace of their resolution, as though it were already accomplished. Hold this vision with the same certainty Clara brought to her birthing rooms, knowing that your faith carries the seeds of manifestation. Let your heart fill with genuine love for their well-being, expanding outward like ripples on still water. Release any trace of doubt or personal agenda, for these only cloud the purity of your intention. Maintain this vision for several minutes, breathing deeply and staying centered in compassionate awareness, knowing that your selfless thoughts are already weaving new patterns in the fabric of reality. Trust that the universe responds to such pure-hearted offerings with particular grace and power. Chapter 29. The Final Test. In the dawn of aviation's golden age, Raymond Harrison stood before his experimental aircraft, facing what appeared to be an insurmountable setback. The engine he had ordered, the final piece needed for his revolutionary design, had been destroyed in transit. You must understand that the universe operates through a system of divine testing. Just as gold must pass through fire to prove its purity, your manifestations must withstand their final trial before materializing. This is not punishment, but preparation. When your desires near fruition, the universe presents what appears to be an obstacle. This apparent setback serves as the ultimate test of your faith, revealing whether your vision has truly taken root in the depths of your being. Raymond's story illuminates this eternal truth. As he stood before the wreckage of his engine, two paths lay before him: abandon his vision or hold it stronger than ever. The universe was not blocking his success. It was ensuring his readiness. At that moment, Raymond closed his eyes and saw his aircraft soaring through clouds with perfect clarity. Instead of fixating on the destroyed engine, he maintained his vision with even greater intensity. Within hours, a telegram arrived. A rival aviator was retiring and offering his superior engine at a fraction of the cost. You see, what appears as an obstacle often conceals a greater blessing. The universe's tests are not meant to discourage, but to redirect you toward an even better manifestation. Every vision must prove itself through challenge. Think of these moments as spiritual checkpoints. When you encounter sudden resistance just before achievement, recognize it as the universe asking, "How certain are you? Will you maintain your vision in the face of apparent contradiction?" Raymond's aircraft did not just fly, it set new records for altitude and distance. The replacement engine proved far superior to his original design. What seemed like devastation was actually divine intervention, but only because he refused to abandon his vision. The test you face before manifestation will feel uniquely designed to challenge your deepest doubts. This is precisely the point. By overcoming this final hurdle, you prove your readiness to receive. To determine your own readiness, perform this ancient practice. Sit in perfect stillness and envision your desire as if it were already manifest. Now imagine the worst possible obstacle appearing before its achievement. Notice your immediate emotional response. Does your vision waver or strengthen? This reaction reveals your true readiness for manifestation. If doubt arises, return to your visualization practice until no external circumstance can shake your inner certainty. Chapter 30. Becoming a living conduit of the hidden force. High in the mountains of Vermont, James Whitman spent his days in quiet contemplation, watching how nature effortlessly manifested its desires. The trees did not strain to grow, they simply grew. The river did not force its path, it flowed. In this observation, he uncovered the deepest secret of all. You now approach the final gateway of manifestation mastery. Beyond mere visualization lies a state of being where your thoughts and the universe move as one eternal dance. This is not about creating sporadic moments of alignment, but becoming alignment itself. The masters of old did not simply practice visualization, they lived it. Every breath, every step, every moment was infused with absolute knowing. They had transcended the need to force or struggle because they understood that they were the very force they sought to command. When you exist in complete harmony with the universe, manifestation becomes as natural as your heartbeat. There is no separation between your desires and their fulfillment. They are one continuous flow of creation. This is the state where miracles become commonplace, where what others call impossible becomes your daily experience. James discovered this truth one autumn morning. As he watched leaves spiral down from ancient maples, he realized he had been approaching manifestation backward. He had been trying to push reality into new shapes, when instead he needed to become the reality he wished to experience. That very day, he ceased his formal visualization practice. Instead, he began living as though his desires were already fulfilled. Not through pretense, but through genuine knowing. He walked differently. He spoke differently. He breathed differently. The universe responded in kind, matching his state of being with corresponding circumstances. Within weeks, opportunities and synchronicities flowed to him without effort. He had transcended the need to make things happen because he had aligned himself with the natural current of creation. His life became a living visualization, every moment infused with the certainty of fulfillment. This is the final stage of mastery, when visualization transforms from something you do into something you are. When you reach this level, you no longer need to concentrate on specific outcomes because your very presence becomes a magnet for manifestation. To begin this transformation, you must shift from periodic visualization sessions to constant embodiment of your desires. This is not about pretending or affirming. It is about knowing so deeply that every cell of your being vibrates with certainty. Living visualization integration practice. Throughout your day, pause regularly and ask yourself, how would I move, speak, and breathe if I were already living my desire? Then, without forcing, allow yourself to naturally embody that state of being. Let this become your normal way of existing in the world. Conclusion. The ultimate secret that only masters know. Through these ancient chapters, you have journeyed from seeker to master, uncovering truths that have transformed countless lives across the ages. Yet now, as you stand at this final threshold, understand that true power was never found in the techniques, rituals, or practices. These were merely keys to unlock what already existed within you. The hidden force you sought has been your constant companion, responding to every thought, every belief, every certainty you have ever held. It has shaped your reality with perfect precision, waiting for you to recognize its presence and claim your rightful place as its master. You are no longer bound by doubt or limitation. You have transcended the need for proof because you have become the proof itself. Every desire you hold with unwavering certainty must manifest. This is not wishful thinking, but universal law. The mysteries you have uncovered are not meant to be stored away like precious artifacts. They are meant to be lived, breathed, embodied in every moment. You are now called to exist in a state of constant creation, where your very presence shapes reality around you. This is not the end of your journey, but rather the beginning of true mastery. You have learned to command the hidden force not through force or struggle, but through alignment and knowing. Your power lies not in what you do, but in who you have become, a conscious creator, working in harmony with the universe itself. Remember, whatever you hold as truth in the depths of your being, the universe has no choice but to reflect. You have awakened to your true nature as a master of reality. Now step forward and live from this knowing, for in this lies the ultimate fulfillment of your journey. Your journey doesn't end here. Click on this next audiobook that I promise will completely transform your perspective.